So here we run, these are what we call automated end stop saws. So all of these files come in electronic for each component, and when each component is cut, it produces a label and a scan label for each component. And as I said, this all flows through from one master data point, and there's no data entry at all for each workstation. So we run about 8 or 9 workstations. There's quite a lot of components in each individual blind. So these are all completely automated. I can show you how this works. You could example this machine, you could hit, so these are all electronic to the end, and it can go to everything to this is a millimetre perfect machine. So there's an aluminium cutting saw, steel cutting, and as you can see, these here are roller tubes for blinds. So that's a smaller roller tube, bigger roller tube, and these are the small internal roller tubes here. And then each of the components, which are in all pre-powder coated, so everything's all pre-powder coated. We've got multiple ranges of products, and everything we make is handmade, and every single blind is millimetre perfect, and every single blind is different, unfortunately. I think what our big point of difference is we run very, very fast speed to market, and our whole team everything is about lead times. You know, you can set your clock by us. So what's great for the gyms guys, which helps them with cash flow, which is what we teach them about, is the day you take your deposit, you know that you will have that blind in 14 days, which means that if you book your install on the 14th or the 15th day of the month, then your customer has a great experience. It's fantastic for your cash flow because you're getting paid on time, and you've got a very happy client that's installed with well under a month, which is probably if you said our single biggest strength, that's our single biggest strength. Then over here we run, are 2 automated robotics plotters. So on here, this particular plotter just runs all of our outdoor fabrics. And a nice way to put it, it's a reverse hockey table. So this sucks down, when the fans are on, it sucks down. There are different machines out there, but we find these are very stable. They've been around a long time. We don't have breakdowns. Basically, this plastic is a sacrificial plastic because the product is a mesh, so the vacuum sucks through the mesh. And Amy might be able to turn a fan on and show you in a minute, if we're lucky. She's smiling. We'll give her a minute. Computer screens over there, everything's sent there, and is automated to the table, and the table will run, you know, if you turn these up, these can cut 100, 200 skins a day each machine. And you can turn the speeds up. So as you can see, this vacuums down and keeps the fabric stable. This one's specifically for the cover light blind. So we run an outdoor on this one, and we run indoor on this one. Saves us handling fabrics and the risk of damaging fabric. So everything is about not having to handle. And as you can imagine, you know, these rolls are 40 kilos. You don't want your staff having to handle these all day. So, you know, in the mornings these racks get loaded, and then depending on the workload, you know, these will be running side by side. Depends, as I said, depends on the workload. This time of year is a little bit quieter. Over here, this is we were the first company in Australia to go down this technology. This is called the Impulse technology. This is a 6.5 metre impulse welder. So traditional welders for welding mesh is hot air. The problem is with hot air, you get distortion next to the weld. With impulse, it's a flash heat, and you can actually put your finger next to this while it's welding. So there's no heat distortion on the fabric. So when our blind goes up, perfect. You don't have to wait for the sun to hit it. You don't have to wait. You know, the client can come home. The old way used to be, client comes home, baggy, crinkly skin, hey customer, you have to wait 3 weeks for the sun to hit this and it'll flatten out. With ours, the blind goes up and they've got a great experience straight up. That's new technology welding. Everyone's moving to these now, but we had #1 welder. So this one's done more welds than any other one in Australia. So it has if I had one of the operators here, because I'm not great on it, this has a snake jaw in here, and the snake jaw opens and holds every different type of fabric and does every different offset. So it's like a jaw, because every blind runs different size for these. They run a very, very fine zipper. This zipper comes out of Europe. The reason behind these zippers, why you get a good flat blind with us, is when the blind rolls up, you don't get a big build-up. When you have this type of system on the side, very stiff, big build-up, and you get very wavy blinds. So these very, very fine zippers run in the side tracks, and this is what gives the blind a big point of difference. So they have a special adhesive on here, and that all gets welded. So after it goes through the process of being cut, then goes the process of being welded, and it has 4 welds. So it's quite time consuming, because it's this weld, then you see this fine zipper on the side, then that's got to be welded. So there's 4 welds, shift, shift, shift. So they're quite labour intensive to make a skin. But as you can see, if you look straight down that line there, no heat distortion at all. That's actually literally been welded, and it hasn't altered the fabric at all, which allows it to sit perfectly. So it's millimetre perfect, and when it goes up, it hasn't been altered by heat. It's then again millimetre perfect, so you get a perfect blind. Then you have traditional sewing, which is more for what we call folding arm awnings. Again, these are some of our systems. Effectively, our systems, with virtually zero training, you could come in and manufacture a blind, because our systems tell you exactly what to do. Everything's labelled, tells you the job name, when a blind comes to every single station, every aspect of the blind is checked all the way through. It cannot leave here incorrect, because it's touched so many stations, and if something was cut too short, it will not fit the next part. That's the big thing that we've done, is we've given them a massive point of difference, that they're really confident with the product. They don't have any comeback. We stand by our 10-year warranty, 10-year guarantee on everything. That's automation, fabrics, components, and we don't hesitate. If there's an issue there, we have a team out to rectify it immediately. So, as I said, we run a lot of smart automation, so we're trying to keep ahead of time. We've just released a new 12-volt solar motor, which is the strongest one on the Australian market, which will lift a 6-metre blind and solar backup and things like that. So again, a brand new product to market that no one else has got out there. The cover light internal blind, which the guys might have showed you, which is ultimately about zero light in a bedroom, all about sleep. Very, very labour intensive. We run special furs out of Europe. We run special expanding products. So I'll give you an idea, every one of these little components, every little piece of this fur, there's 8 pieces of this in every blind. It's got to be put in by hand, glued in so it can't move. So this is for the fabric runs up and down here and doesn't allow any light. And each one of these components we produce and print on site. So any of the plastic components, we're on multiple 3D printers, and we print all our components, which allows us to also be faster on innovation. We're at version 23 as we speak on components, because as we get feedback, how can we make this better? How can we make it easier for the installers? We're fast on our feet. We're not having to rely on other companies to do it. So we print all of those components in-house, which again gives the guys, faster to market. You're not waiting 3 months for someone to develop. You're not waiting 6 months to create moulds. We do it all in-house. So any new innovative product, we do ourselves and design ourselves. That's some of the little components. Is some of the boxes and parts. These are all made in-house. Their little logo on the brand. The big thing for the guys, we also develop full websites for them. So this brand we're driving, this is a strong brand. Also they have a link on their website, but they can point a customer to our Coverlite website, and then they get more understanding that they've got a strong brand behind what they're doing. We're more than comfortable to talk to any customers here. We've had a lot of gyms clients come through our factory so that they get more of an understanding that, hey, there are manufacturers behind gyms, they have got some support. So the showroom upstairs, we've built that for gyms, dedicated for the clients. That's why as you walk in the walkway, you'll see all of the different types of blinds that we manufacture here. You know, it's amazing. Elisa's had some clients, Alan's had some clients here, and I'm comfortable to walk them around and show them. And certainly the men are very interested. The women want the fluffy coloured fabrics and what's up in the showroom, all the different samples. But the men love to have a look at how things are made. And people get an amazing understanding when they realise that they've got a good manufacturer behind the gym's brand, and they're welcome to come and have a look at their product being made if they want to. We're more than happy to do that. More going on up here. So this is assembly areas, and Jamie can probably show us on a screen here. So what Jamie's doing here is he's assembling the bottom rail of the blind. Now, interesting enough, the bottom rail of the blind has multiple components in the bottom rail. So Jamie will pull his system up in a minute, and the system will tell him what weights he needs to put in the blind to make the blind work, what type of weather flap or seal it has on the bottom, and what the actual type of the blind is and what the colour is. So it's another touch point that someone's checking the colour and the blind. Okay. So Jamie will show you here, the job's here. It'll tell him the type of blind it is, the colour, which side the motor goes, what type of motor it is. So in this particular one up the top, we can see the motor goes to the left hand. It's a battery and a solar motor. So it tells the guys basically what it is. So to give you an idea, this gentleman over here is an installer. He's one of our new installers, and he's getting an understanding of our fabrication. So what we like to do with our installers, have them come and assemble a blind, because if they're out in the field, they get an understanding of what's going on. We found that's been the best. Develops a great relationship with your people. Number one, people will communicate when they're comfortable with you, and two, they understand us as a business and understand what they're fitting. If you understand how to make it, makes it a lot easier to fit it. So, as I said, multiple stations, station here. Up there, you'll see the roller tube. So that's the tube. Again, that has 4 components in that tube. The system tells them which component to put in. The leads you'll see hanging out, that means that's a 240 volt motor in those roller tubes up there. This is a different brand. This is actually our new Smooth Track exclusive gyms blind here. Very nice profiles. It's the cleanest blind on the market. You don't see any of the welding. It's all hidden down in here, where all of the other blinds, everything's exposed. All you see is extrusion components and the mesh. You don't see anything else. So very, very clean, which is what we're after. Hoods, again, we do several different types of hoods, and you can see the length of some of these blinds are quite amazing when you see these roller tubes standing up, being 6 metres long. Yeah, huge. There's a ColourBond hood. Again, components here. Our system tells the boys what to put at each end, which determines which end the motor is, because that depends on where the electrical points are mounted. So every little step of the way, there's something else being done.